Hello, it's Tuesday. It's tea time. Let's talk. This is our last mindset shift day, and today we're going to talk about the grind. You know the grind. The productivity grind, do more, less time, get things done better, work while you sleep. Hustle culture is evil. This is an objective truth according to my opinion. It is perpetuated by a society that doesn't care what you want or your worth. It cares about what you can produce. It wants to chew you up and spit you out, and they don't care if you get sick and you need to take a week off of work. You don't have that many sick days. We do not need to grind ourselves to death. The only grind that we care about is coffee beans now, all right? From now on, we're turning the heat down and we're going to simmer. We're going to do a slow simmer and we're going to enjoy it. So now it's a pleasant experience and we're not like being squeezed through the grindstone, whatever, productivity BS. Progress has to be made. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to say, oh, we can all bed rot for the rest of our lives. Things have to get done. We have to make food. We have to eat. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to pay our bills. We need a roof over our head, safe place to sleep, clothes on the back because we can't walk out the door naked. I understand all this. I'm not saying just become a bump on a log and sit and be a happy little frog that the witch turned you into and experience, joy for the first time in your life because you're not doing anything. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is we have been giving 120% trying to achieve something that is not achievable, and we're all burning ourselves out in the process. Especially like the neurodivergents among us who think that everybody else is actually giving 100% and they're only giving like 70, and like all we see is that, and we think that they're giving 100%, so we have to give 100% too. And then when something over and above is asked from us because we're already giving 100%, we have to extend ourselves further in order to reach the bar that has been raised. And this just continually happens until it's too late. We've got to step back. We've got to reassess. I've been doing tarot readings every day for myself, and the number of times I have pulled the card that's like, you have to prioritize or the prioritizing is going to be made for you. It's the tarot cards are like, did I stutter? Back to the topic at hand, progress still needs to be made. Things still need to be done. But when we're doing things for ourselves, the only person putting pressure on us is ourselves. And maybe we just ease back a little bit on that pressure and we do 15 minutes a day, right? Or the equivalent to 15 minutes a day. You want to do an hour every 4 days? Be my guest. Just do 15 minutes a day, especially if you're trying to learn something. If you're trying to learn how to draw, or you're trying to learn how to play guitar, or learn how to sew, 15 minutes a day is going to be the best way for you to get that myelin sheath for the muscle memory of whatever it is you're doing. Okay, I know it sounds like an amount of time that's not worth it. You're worth it. Go watch last week's video. You're worth it. You're worth doing the practice. You're worth the repetition. You're worth the tiny bite of time. And I know that like you go to work and then you come home and you got to take care of the house and you got to feed the kids and you got to do the laundry, the never ending cycle of laundry that is like a metaphor for our own lives. I get it, but you can carve out 15 minutes. Do the thing that you love for at least 15 minutes a day. Did you know that Neil Gaiman wrote Coraline at 50 words a night? 50 words a night. You can go slow. You're allowed. If you don't want to go slow, that's fine. But you also need to know that rest is necessary. Rest must be taken, or rest will take you. Don't. Much like grief, rest will have its due. You can't keep pushing yourself because you will push your limits to the point where your limits are at their limit. And then if you step over that line, something's going to break. You're going to get sick. You're going to have a complete mental or emotional breakdown. You're going to go into complete burnout and lose the joy of everything that you once loved. And you're going to become so tired that no amount of sleep or rest will make you feel any better. So, rest before you do whatever it is, because rest is not something you earn. You don't work until 11 o'clock at night and then you go, okay, I've done what I wanted to get accomplished during the day. I'm going to go to bed now and then wake up at 5 a.m. No, there are 7 different types of rest. We all know about physical rest. That's when you're like physically tired and you need to sleep. But there's also the flip side of that, and if you have a sedentary job, your physical rest will be movement, because that's what your body needs. Whatever it is that you're doing, you need to not do, and whatever it is you're not doing, you need to do it. Only you can decide what is going to fulfill these things of rest for you, but reflect on it, think about it. There's also mental rest. For those of us who are problem solvers, we gotta have a break sometime. Just turn it off and vegetate. A little bit of time where the racing cogs and clicks and the puzzle pieces aren't. Give Sherlock a rest, okay? Go for a walk in nature and put the Sherlock brain on a shelf and just give yourself a mental break. That said, if you are in a space that is completely boring for you, maybe pick up a book of Sudoku, and that's your mental rest. Whatever's taxing you, do the opposite, okay? That's all you gotta remember. Then we've got sensory rest. Oh boy. I never knew about sensory rest until I realized that I was getting overstimulated. Please, let me know in the comments. Do you understand what I mean when I say that my teeth hurt because the refrigerator is too loud? Because my clothes are itchy? Do you understand what I mean when I say that? If you don't understand what I mean when I say that, then I'm so happy for you. Like, when the television is too loud, my clothes get too tight. So I've learned that I need to take sensory rest. One of the ways that I do this is I go off into the woods roughly once a month, once every 2 months, to go hit my friends with sticks, and I will just withdraw and go for a little quiet walk in the woods. Nice sensory rest. Like, honestly, going off into the woods to hit my friends with foam sticks hits so many of these different rest types. For me, it's beautiful. Like, anytime you can combine them, it's magic. I highly suggest you do so. Next, we have creative rest. And this is like the thing that if you're like at a boring job that is very rote and you don't have to be creative, you don't have to do problem solving, one of the best things for you is to just like go do a sip and paint thing, or pick up a sketchbook and draw, or play a creative word game or something. Get the other side of the brain working and doing. For a creative person, we need a break from creating. We need to do something mindless, something, I don't want to say not creative, but like coloring books are great. If you are a creative person and you want to have a creative rest, the lines are already written for you. You can just put the color inside them. It's fabulous. They make a ton of adult coloring books now. We found a Keanu Reeves coloring book in Joanne one day. It was something. It was basically like Keanu Reeves is your boyfriend, self-insert fan fiction sort of scenarios. It was fabulous. I almost bought it. Emotional rest. If you're a very emotional person, you need some time to not be emotional, at least about your things. That's one of the reasons I like LARP is I get to go and be somebody else, and I can feel their emotions for a while and just take a little break from mine. If you're not an emotional person, your emotional rest is going to be to feel your emotions. It's going to be to learn how to process your emotions, feel where they are physically in your body. What does it feel like? All of that sort of stuff that we don't really teach people how to do unless that you've actually gone to therapy. Social rest is number 6. And social rest, boy, those introverts know what I'm talking about. If you are an introvert, you know that when you go and you do social things, you need a period of recovery after. An extrovert is the opposite. An extrovert gets their social rest by being social because they are not social enough in other areas of their life. It is all a balance. It's all a balance. And then spiritual rest. Whether you are religious or woo-woo in any way, or I don't care if you are even an atheist, you need to take some time to get all of this. Journaling is a really good way to get your spiritual rest. I do morning pages from The Artist Way every morning, 3 pages without fail. It's a brain dump, essentially. You can get as deep or shallow into it as you want. If you want to do like a guided The Artist Way thing, let me know, because that can be arranged. I can do that. We can do that. I think I've completely lost the plot. Rest is necessary. You've got to rest. That's the important thing. Whatever it is that is making you feel unrested, you need to rest. Just do the opposite of whatever it is that drains you. That's the simple answer. I've been rambling for far too long, so I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you so much for being here. Next month is April, which has 5 Tuesdays, and I think we're going to be talking about LARP and some of the things surrounding having a good experience at LARP. Please do all the YouTube things. I adore you. Please take care of my friend, get some water, eat something delicious and nutritious, and make sure that you are eking every iota of joy out of this life that you can. I promise I will do the same for your friend. Thank you.